Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week where it is the end of the season. We've finally got to the point where we can stop talking about this season and we
Aye.
can end our suffering, if you will, for a couple of months until it all starts again in August. Saturday was obviously no different. We pushed Celtic to the limit. Obviously, there's some decisions in there that we won't all agree with along the way, but Celtic obviously get the job done and beat us in the Scottish Cup final, which leaves a lot to be desired at the end of the season. But we'll go into that. We'll talk about the transfers that have been confirmed and then the ones that are hopefully going to be confirmed in the coming days. As we start building towards the next season. So if you do enjoy the podcast, please like, subscribe, and share. It's always very much appreciated. And we'll go on to the the Scottish Cup final then. It was obviously when we talked yesterday, I really couldn't see any other outcome than Celtic winning the game, but it was one of the games that we just had to win to get the support kind of back on side, positivity flowing within the support going into the summer. And I feel like now that we've lost that, we've lost another trophy to go to Celtic as well, as they kind of close in on that on us for trophy haul as well is not ideal, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of kind of scrutiny towards every decision now made in the summer that there might have not have been if we'd won this game. But it was one of those kind of it was cagey. It was a cup final game. Obviously, two teams that didn't want to lose, and I felt like the first half kind of showed that a bit. Celtic had a couple of chances. Celtic looked threatening every time they kind of went forward. We had our own opportunities, but I felt Celtic probably in the first half looked like the team more kind of in the ascendancy. And we grew into the half just really late on. Couple of good chances throughout the game. If I can remember, Dessers had one that was blocked. And Fabio Silva done well to turn, and shot wasn't obviously good enough then, but it all opened up for a second half. Cyril Dessers subbed, Sima on, and we completely just kind of took control of the game. I felt like in the middle of the park where we've really struggled, Clement tweaked the system a bit and got the best out of the players that he used there. Combated Celtic's midfield three really well, and I think if you beat Celtic's midfield three, you've got a good chance of getting something for the game. Obviously, we did score. It was Abdullah Sima at the back post. There's a lot of discussion on the goal. Raskin obviously is the one that's committed the foul. He's pushed Joe Hart. He's put his hands up, which you can't argue. He's put his hands up, but he's also getting held by Greg Taylor. And then there's also some other shenanigans going on inside the box when that goal is. Obviously, the ball's getting floated in for the goal then to be scored by Sima. I think the whole thing for this with me is not the fact that has been given a foul. It's everything surrounding the goal. It's the refereeing standard. It's again yesterday when people were talking about the Premier Sports coverage. Rory Hamilton's apparently got the notification that goal stands, and then there's a complete U-turn done and he's now checking VAR and it's not been given. I think the length of the time that Nick Walsh actually went to check VAR was it just a blank screen that he went and looked at because it looked like he was not changing his mind anyway. As he looked for it all about 2 seconds on one angle on the screen. I thought that were really, really hard done by, and that's every game this season. We've had a big call and an old firm game go against us, where you could really say, look, it's a 50-50. Every single one of them has been a 50-50 challenge that they've then brung back, and we've got the brunt of it. We've lost out. Every old firm game has been decided by one goal, and we've had a goal ruled out near enough every one of them. It's really, really
Aye.
frustrating.
It's, mate, it's frustrating. I'm glad also we didn't come on here at the time, man, because they've been ripping the top about Hulk Hogan. I mean, to me, it's a goal. I know there's fouls and what have you, but to me, it's a goal. And as you say, the length of time he looked at the screen, it was literally 2 seconds. He already had made his mind up before going to the screen. As you were also talking about as well, I thought we dominated them second half. I thought we dominated, and as you say, midfield battle. I thought we won. I thought Diomande, Raskin, they done really well together. Cantwell, he did all right. I was just more proud of the fact that we didn't cover. We actually had a team that were actually standing up for ourselves and we're going for it. But no, listen, that's just shocking again, and you can't help but feel like it's what everyone's saying it is. Do you know what I mean? Because aye, it's just shocking to me that that wasn't a goal.
Mhm.
I get also I can understand he's put his hand and what have you, but as you say, the fouls in the box there as well. You've got, was it Welsh on Davies, you've got Balogun and Vickers, and you've got Greg Taylor trying to German suplex Nico Raskin. So I mean, I don't know. And I mean, as I said to you as well, probably one of the only games where you actually felt Rangers when Mike scored for a corner. We actually looked threatening for set pieces there.
Aye, no,
Uh,
we delivered a lot of decent balls into the box and ones that kind of flashed by in the second half. We maybe just needing a touch on them, but I think the moment where that goal was obviously scored was ideal for us because then we had obviously had something to hold on to, and then Celtic would have to then come at us a bit more, and it would have probably opened the space for us to do a lot better in the game. But I felt with the second half, definitely we were the better side. I think Sima coming on was a large part of that. I think his running and his control of the ball was a lot better than Desser's in the second half. Just really, really unfortunate that he didn't get the goal given. And I think you need to look again at the flashpoints within the game. Dujon Sterling's booked for a tackle that he wins against Greg
oh,
Taylor. Liam Scales has pushed Dujon
this
Sterling
is
to the floor.
aye.
Dessers has been fouled inside the box after getting a shot away. Sima, there was a flashpoint with him and Alistair Johnson. I've not actually watched back any of the game, but for what I can remember, it was like he kind of had tightened his grip around his legs so he wouldn't kind of be let go to.
Oh, that was
Um,
tremendous, mate. That was tremendous. I liked seeing Seamer showing some nice kicks on the flare there to him. I know you're on about grappling with his leg and he wouldn't let him go on, and obviously Seamer gets the action the way he does. But no, listen, just as I say to you all the time, it's about, I just feel like you need to get a referee for a different country and for these kind of games. Because there's too
aye.
many times both sides are sitting here and say, oh, the referee's been biased towards one other side. And I mean, clear and obvious for that game there. I'm sorry, do you know what I mean? The ref, how is he? What is he
I know
doing?
you don't like coming on here and like you slating referees because you didn't win a game, but it was unbelievably
It's
blatant at
blatant.
the weekend.
It's
There, it
blatant
was.
for the weekend there.
Obviously,
Yeah.
we ended up picking up a lot of yellow cards ourselves, but Todd Cantwell, before when he was going off, the linesman's pulling out a red card to give him, and you're like, what? Like, and then obviously, I guess why that video with him obviously going up to the referee and the linesman and all that after the game makes a bit more sense now because you're like, well, he's obviously wanting to argue his case. I would hope we would do that more as a team. Personally, I think as I saw that at the end of the game, I was like, I can't help just an idiot. He can't keep his mouth shut. We've lost the game. Move on. But I think the standard of refereeing and what we've missed out on every single Old Firm game this season, it has to be brought up. It has to have players in their ear and it really needs to be known how bad they are at their job. Because you can't really find a good one around. But it was one of the only Old Firm games this season where we've really dominated large parts, looked comfortable in the game, didn't really panic too heavily on the ball. The back line was really good in terms of that. Obviously, Tavernier probably the weakest again on that side, but Balogun and Davies probably our best partnership this season, and it happened in the last game of the season. The two of them really complemented each other really well. I think Ben Davies cut out a lot of the kind of trickery for O'Reilly and Hatate, and Balogun was just there to obviously catch up with the pace to Kyogo and head out all the balls that were coming into the box. But I thought the two of them complemented each other really well. And Red Van Yilmaz, I thought again had a decent game out on the left hand side. But the flashpoint of the game is the winning goal. Diomande, exactly what we want our midfielders to be doing, playing passes like that into forward areas to go and look threatening and attack. You've got Scott Wright, who's just not at the level to even do anything with the ball he's received, and that puts us immediately under pressure. Bernardo strides into the middle of the park, gets a lethal shot away, to be fair, a lot of power in it. Butland could have done so much better with the shot, in my opinion, though. And obviously, Adam Ida's there to follow it in. Balogun caught maybe ball watching as well, you would say. But really, just a hammered blow at the point in the game. It was how good we were in the game in the second half. We definitely deserved a lot more than we got for this game. But you can play well in finals all you want. It's all about scoring the winning goal, really. But you will say the referee did have a massive influence on this one.
Absolutely, mate. As you said there, it is about obviously getting the winning, the winning goals. But no, definitely agreement with the referee. But listen, it was. I do feel Butland could have done a hell of a lot better with that. Obviously, you mentioned the waste of space, which is Scott Wright. Um, uh, honestly, I can't believe he's played so many. It was
Just
just
because he
aware.
never gets injured, because everybody else gets injured and Scott Wright's the only one there to play all the time.
I can't. I just honestly, I'd have called somebody for the stands rather than him. I really would have. But no, I'm the same as you. I thought Davies and Balogun done really well. Yilmaz as well. Tavernier, you just knew straight away. As soon as Maeda made that, you just knew he was done.
Mm.
And that's as I say, we've said it on here. He's got to go this summer. He can't continue. He really can't. But no, it's just a really poor goal, man.
Nah,
And you think about the guy that's been obviously player of the season, what have you, for that to happen. It's obviously heartbreaking for him, you know what I mean? Because you would hate, just don't want to see him get abused, you know what I mean? He's been one of the only positive lights this season. And I guarantee he'll be the first one to be criticising himself. But aye, it was just a really poor goal to lose. And we were done after that, man.
nah, it was kind of aye hammer blow at the time of the goal was scored, and then you're aye trying to fight back into the game, but aye Celtic and were trying to just cut out everything that we tried to throw at them. We were getting a bit overwhelmed with it all as well, and thrown into tackles and stuff like that, and getting frustrated. So it wasn't to be, obviously, but. That marks the end of a season now. Philippe Clement, obviously, in the job since October, November time. He's finished off this season. How would you kind of rate where he's took this team to now?
I can't really look at that screen, mate. It's quite intimidating, man. Fucking cunts just like, no, I would listen, positive, positive. I would say it's a positive. Obviously, we get a summer coming up. We hope he gets the right players in. Which looking like that, we're going to go on to talk about them. But aye, I would say it's been a positive setting him with Clement. Obviously, the old firm games you could look at and say maybe he tactically maybe got one or two things wrong, maybe played wrong players at the wrong time. But listen, I think an absolute positive and hopefully it just goes onwards for here, mate. We get better.
Nah, well, I think that's the thing. He came in, he steadied the ship, he got the victories and the points and everything else that he had to do, got us back into a title race that we had no right to kind of be in,
Mm.
got us through in Europe, obviously competed against Benfica, won the League Cup, and then I think it just came to the point where the same players like
Let him
cowered at
down.
the same time as they
But
have done every season. So I think
that's
obviously he could do better if he's got better players, and maybe if he's got one more midfielder than he had all the way through December. We were playing obviously Sterling and Cifuentes and Lammers and stuff like that. Like he had a hard card to deal with, and especially coming in and there's going to be no money in January either. It's going to be obviously loan deals, pre-contracts to then pay for them in the summer. I think Philippe Coman's done well with what he's had to work with, and I think for him and a lot of the Rangers fans I've spoke to are willing to give him that time in the summer to rebuild, and I think we've saw enough certainly for the last Old Firm game that we are hopefully going in the right direction. It's just getting rid of the players that are
that's
are here and
constantly.
constantly letting us down.
Constantly letting us down, as you say, mate. Aye, but it's also you think about where we were. Do you know what I mean? I just thought it was done before he came in. I was like, nah, there's no chance we get in for this season. And also we get a cup, which is obviously it was massive at the time, positive for the morale. And then we go on the run that we did in Europe as well, doing really well. So as I say, those kind of old firm games where we've talked about maybe playing the wrong players and tactics, what have you, but. I think going forward, get the right players in and hopefully man brings more success to the club.
Well, that's the thing. He needs to get back now. I think the infrastructure of the club needs to be vastly improved as well for him
Yeah,
to succeed. I think the board need to take a look at themselves after again another failure of a season
definitely.
to win more than one cup. I think there's a lot that has to change within Rangers as a club. Players have to go, players have to get sold, and obviously we're still waiting for the confirmation of who's actually leaving the club at the end of their contracts. But um, there's a massive overhaul that has to happen. Last season we thought that. I don't think we got it to the biggest degree that we thought, and now it's an even bigger job now. Not only for Clement but for the hierarchy at the club to get it right. Just throw everything at it. See, that's the thing. I don't think we would be coming on here and complaining as much as we are if Rangers and the board focused on putting a winning, proper Rangers team on the
Mm.
pitch and throwing everything at getting the right quality that a manager would deserve instead of focusing about other stupid things like building Edmondson House and sports bars and all that. Obviously, that's great for the match day occasion, 100%. But it's again all about revenue and money in the pocket. Like, I want to see much more kind of focus and onus being put
One
on
of
the
the,
players that we're recruiting. And hopefully, with Neil Coppin, we're looking at the right avenues now. But
yeah.
the board definitely need to focus on. on what's actually happening.
Well, both need to focus on getting trophies back in the cabinets, mate. It's as simple as that. What you're saying there, obviously, it's great for match days, occasions, and what have you. But end of the day, you want to see your team winning the league titles. You want to see your team winning Scottish Cups. You know what I mean? So that's definitely what we need to do. And obviously, boy, you mentioned there as well. I've got faith in him and the kind of players that will identify and look to bring in. Obviously, linked with big boy centre half, we'll be getting on it. And hopefully, Oscar as well. Oscar Cortez is staying on as well. That'd be lovely. But as you say, there's many players that just mentally aren't made for this club and do need to go, man.
Nah, and obviously we done that video a couple of weeks ago now. Obviously going through our
Aye.
list. So if you want to check that out, that's already on the channel. How we feel, I don't think that's changed any differently.
Oh,
So we done it probably at the right time. But I on to more positive news. Looking forward to the future. Hefty is now a Rangers player. I think we first kind of heard about this in January. Looking to get him out his loan deal with Applewell and get him in January. I think that was with the look ahead to maybe getting rid Van Yilmaz. So I'm probably thankful that that didn't happen at the time, and we've then went and
aye.
proceeded with the deal in the summer. So coming in for Apoel, 20 years old, Brazilian left back. For what I've seen and what I've read about him and what I've been watching clips about him and stuff, he looks to be a really attacking fullback. He looks to be the guy that will get forward, get balls into the box, got a good deal of pace about him. Obviously, he's not the biggest in that area, but I think you need to be kind of agile in the left back departments now because of how much kind of onus is on you to create. And I think you've seen with Yilmaz and Tavernier or whoever's played in the left back position this season. It's kind of key that you get a guy with a good delivery into the box that can obviously create chances for the strikers. So him coming in is a really positive move. I think it's again a correct market that we're looking in. Obviously Brazilian league, young promising player. I don't think you can ever not be excited when you sign a Brazilian player. Really.
Aye.
We've obviously done the deal at I think it's a reported 500, 600 grand deal. Again, the kind of the money that you would be expecting to pay for players. You're not getting priced out of deals because of the club you are and stuff like that. So it's a prospect. Obviously, we're bringing him here to see if he can live up to the potential. Give him a couple of years, give him a fair crack at the whip, hopefully, and hopefully we can then proceed with the model that we're trying to do and build obviously a club that brings in talent, improves them, and sells them on for a profit, and we just keep recycling that. So for what I've seen, Hefty, he has been compared to Tavernier though, which I thought was but yeah, a bit
Don't
of
say that.
nonsense. But he looks to be definitely stronger in the attack. He is a bit weaker on the defensive side there. But I think again, at only 20 years old, you look at Tavernier still being weak defensively when he's
Aye.
33. He's got obviously
Aye.
years to improve that. So definitely a really positive signing. And hopefully, obviously, as Barisic goes, you've got Yilmaz and Hefty there. They're kind of two strong left backs with Robbie Fraser obviously below them.
My only thing is obviously, I know he's Brazilian, loves the sun and that, but hope he can get used to the weather, the rain over here. No, listen, it's exciting. I've not seen it and I've not watched any clips because I'm not doing that. I'll judge him when obviously I see him play for us. But definitely exciting, as you say, kind of not be excited when you sign a Brazilian. So, as you say, hopefully with the sell on as well, that'll be kind of, hopefully we get a couple million for him if he turns out to be anything decent. But you've just said he's like Taver. I'm a bit nervous now, man.
Nah, no, just for what I've saw him, he has definitely got the comparisons. He been kind of weaker on the defensive side of the game, but a really kind of
As
strong
you say, he's
attacker.
20, he can improve on that. As I say, I like my full backs obviously defending first and also getting the ball in the box and having their pace. But he can definitely improve on that, man. Still,
Nah, nah, and obviously that was announced Friday, so good to get that deal over the line finally. And then the news that's coming out yesterday, obviously, I think we'll hear it might be on the 1st of June when all the contracts kind of come to a close, but Leon Balogun's apparently going to be kept a holdie. This is raised again debate with Rangers fans. I feel arguing over nothing. I don't know why you wouldn't want to keep Leon Balogun out of all the players that are leaving the club that are obviously contracted, not the kind of loan deals or whatever. I don't know why you wouldn't want to keep Leon Balogun. I think if he's got the role that he's happy with, he's obviously not on the highest wages ever. He's going into his twilight years, 36, 37-year-old. He's come in again to a Scottish Cup final, looked really strong. Every time he steps in the pitch, really, he gives you everything he's got. He's not going to be a guy that's, hopefully, touch wood, not going to be playing a lot of the season because of
Yeah,
the players that
aye.
we'll bring in, but he's a valuable option, I think, to this team. The kind of character and the attitude that he has towards the game, he's a really kind of respected character within the dressing room, and would imagine he comes across really genuine when you hear him speak or anything. So for me, I think it's a good option to keep holding for another year. It gives a much needed depth in the area. When you're looking to probably get rid of Connor Goldson, Leon King, Ben Davies has obviously come in at the end of the season and done well, but again, you're looking to probably
Move
move
on.
him on for a fee as well. That leaves you with Suter and Balogun as two of your centre half. So I think I would be happy with that and keep him holding. I don't see any problem with it.
I don't understand why people are when they want to keep holding it, especially for another year. Do you know what I mean? As you say, come in, play the games when you need him to play, steps in, he's a constant professional. I really see no problem with this as well. And as I say, also when we did a last video on keeping and letting go and what have you, maybe the coaching as well, maybe that's something where he's maybe come on, maybe keep him on, try and help him with that. You never know, but it's just one that makes sense to me.
Nah, 100%. And hopefully one of his partners next season is going to be Jose Cordoba. Obviously, this has been in the works for a couple of weeks now since we first heard the initial contact for the Panama media. But
Mhm.
it looks to be that this one is coming to a close now. Um, Says there in the next day or two that he's going to be in Glasgow and hopefully announced at the weekend. So I think, again, like we just spoke about with Niels Coppin, looking at a totally different market, the Bulgarian league, for instance, obviously. Jose Cordoba, looking at his stats and the video packages of him and stuff, looks to be the part. It looks to be he could probably at the moment go and play in a top five league, but we've managed to obviously hopefully secure his services, barring obviously nothing goes wrong. But I think it's about £2.5 to £3 million for the deal, which is a lot of money in terms of the Bulgarian league. But obviously we see enough in Cordoba to go and pay that money for him. I think another key thing is getting him in early, getting him integrated with the squad and stuff, getting him ready to go for the start of pre-season. We'll obviously get huge games coming up in Champions League qualifiers, so we need everybody to kind of be gelled and settled by then. I think it's an interesting deal. I really like the look of him. He looks like he would dominate up here because his size, his stature. He looks like again a centre half that can play with the ball at his feet. He's maybe a bit one-sided at times, but I think if you've got a left-sided centre half to kind of just always play there, you're not chopping and changing and playing um, on different sides. I think he could be the next kind of generation of Rangers defender, if you would like. Really happy. Hopefully, you get this one done.
I'm 100% same for you. I know obviously maybe have you the fee, but you've got maybe it's one of them where you have to pay. And as I say yet again, the sell-on value that's what we're looking at here. But hopefully comes in, does the job. It's obviously nice to see him with a bit of silverware. Hopefully that'll continue when he's over here. But it's a positive sign, as you say, step in the right direction. As you say, you like to get it in nice and early, get him integrated with the squad pre-season, get him going. And hopefully we'll bring in more of these kind of players in, Jack.
Aye, no, that's 100% the kind of the way I'm looking at it now. I'm just happy that we've got scouts everywhere, looking at every kind of avenue. I mean, we've been linked with guys for the South African League, for example. There's not a lot of coverage that comes for the South African League, so the fact that we're actively pursuing talent for these leagues is a really, really positive thing. And obviously, if they pop up and are within our means, we'll go for them. So, positive to get Jose Cordoba obviously in, and then that'll obviously kickstart, which is going to be the look ahead to another season. But it's been a long season. It's been a lot. There's been a
Difficult.
lot in this season to kind of
Oh,
grumble about and moan about. There's a lot to be kind of happy about as well. We had
optimistic.
we had large good periods in the season where we were really good, and you thought it would have been a kind of memorable season, but it wasn't to be at the end of it. Philippe Clement will take these players into pre-season and hopefully qualifying for the Champions League, get a new look side ready to go for August. But it's been it's been a ride anyway. I'll say that.
A roller coaster, definitely. Just but you're thankful that it's over. You know what I mean? Your heart gets a break for a wee bit, and then also we get ready to go again. Also Champions League going to the Thursday nights as well now, and we do love a Thursday night. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying. But I hopefully Clermont gets the right players in throughout the summer, and then we go on have a decent wee pre-season, and then we get started again.
Aye, ready to do it all again in August. But I think obviously the content will then take a shift for the channel as well. We've got no games to talk about. Obviously the Euros and stuff are on, but I think obviously a lot of our videos now will be focused on transfers and who we would sign and basically covering all the rumours that we see that are worth speaking about. So aye, there'll be content still happening on the channel, which is good. As we say, there's going to be a lot of a lot of movement in the summers, hopefully. So
We hope so anyway. Yeah, I mean, if we're sitting here in August and what have you, and Tavernier's still here, and some of the other ones, I mean, I don't know what we're doing. I really
no,
don't know.
no. Well, hopefully we can think about that when it happens and the transfer window officially opens. But aye. Thank you again for the support this season. We'll be back with another
Absolutely.
episode. Next week when we hopefully hear more rumours coming out, the players that are going to be leaving the club, and then probably assess more the players that we're going to be signing in this window. So thank you for watching. We'll see you then.